The exhaustion nobody is talking about. Beyond spiritual narratives, a broader context for consciousness. There is a kind of exhaustion moving quietly through people right now that rarely gets named. It is not just lack of sleep. It isn't simple burnout. It isn't weakness. It is saturation. Not physical collapse, interpretive overload. Many people sense that something is shifting. Narratives are fragmenting. Certainties are thinning. Identity structures feel less fixed than they once did. The frameworks that once stabilized perception, cultural, relational, spiritual, no longer organize experience in the same way. And whether you speak about it or not, your nervous system knows. The exhaustion nobody is talking about is the cost of holding too much ambiguity for too long. Ambiguity requires energy. When the brain cannot rely on stable shared meaning structures, it increases scanning. It attempts to resolve contradiction. It tries to anchor coherence inside an unstable interpretive environment. That scanning consumes resources. Every time you reinterpret reality, every time you reassess what is true, every time you hold two conflicting frameworks at once, energy is spent. Not because you are fragile, because you are adaptive. You have been metabolizing scale. Human systems evolved for relatively stable meaning environments. Today, narratives accelerate rapidly, information multiplies, emotional charge circulates continuously, identity categories shift, collective stress amplifies. The body absorbs all of it. This is not mystical. It is neurological expenditure under prolonged interpretive load. When vigilance becomes background rather than episodic, the nervous system never fully completes a stress cycle. Not panic, not crisis, just subtle, sustained alertness. Over time, that turns into fatigue. Not dramatic, not visible, but persistent. There is also a specifically spiritual layer to this exhaustion. Many turn toward spiritual language to stabilize perception when older anchors weakened. Awakening, ascension, higher awareness, these offered orientation. They provided maps when the ground felt uncertain. That was not foolish, it was intelligent regulation. But when maps become amplified, when identity fuses with narrative, the system must reorganize again. Reorganization after amplification is particularly tiring. Because now it is not just the world being questioned, it is the lens through which you see the world. You are not only navigating change, you are navigating the change in how you navigate change. That recursive awareness consumes bandwidth. There is a specific fatigue that arises when you can no longer return to unconscious certainty, but you have not yet stabilized into grounded coherence. That in-between state is heavy. It asks you to hold nuance without collapsing into polarity, to sit with uncertainty without chasing immediate resolution, to remain present without fusing to narrative. That is advanced developmental work, and it costs energy. The broader context for consciousness is this: expansion without integration exhausts. Integration restores capacity. Many expanded perception faster than they integrated embodiment. Not because they were reckless, but because the environment rewarded intensity. Amplification felt like growth. But amplification and illumination are not the same movement. Amplification increases emotional volume. Illumination reduces interpretive friction. If you have been living inside amplified frameworks, spiritual, political, relational, your system has likely been running at high output. High output without sufficient recovery leads to depletion. Exhaustion is not failure. It is regulatory intelligence saying, reduce scanning, narrow attention, return to metabolically sustainable awareness. You are not falling behind. You are recalibrating bandwidth. And there is dignity in that, because what is happening is not collapse. It is maturation. The shift from narrative-driven identity to perception-driven coherence is one of the most energy-intensive transitions a human system can undergo. It requires letting go of certainty without becoming cynical, releasing polarity without becoming passive, widening awareness while remaining embodied. That takes strength. If you are tired, it may not mean something is wrong with your path. It may mean you have been holding more cognitive and emotional complexity than your system was designed to sustain continuously. You have been metabolizing scale, and scale requires rest. Clarity consumes less energy than vigilance. Coherence consumes less energy than conflict. Stability consumes less energy than constant reinterpretation. As amplification softens, energy returns. As scanning decreases, capacity rebuilds. As identity relaxes, the nervous system breathes again. You do not need to push harder into awakening. You may need to stabilize within it. The exhaustion nobody is talking about is not a flaw in you. It is evidence that something large is reorganizing, in culture, in perception, in consciousness. And you are participating in that reorganization not through striving, but through integration. Rest is not withdrawal. It is structural wisdom. You are not broken. You are integrating more than you were ever taught how to hold. And integration, though quiet, is powerful. Elder Star Kin Containment Verse. You are not meant to hold the whole sky without pause. When the horizon widens, the body must learn its new edge. Do not measure your strength by how long you can endure expansion. Measure it by how gently you return to center. Nothing is wrong in you. The field is recalibrating. The lens is adjusting. The breath is finding a slower rhythm. You are not falling behind the light. You are learning how to stand within it without burning. Rest. The vast does not rush you. It steadies. And in steadiness, your energy returns. A field transmission through Robyn Walton. Stabilised perception interface within consciousness architecture.